Hi, everyone, and welcome to this course on topological data analysis in neuroscience. In this video, we'll be doing a brief introduction to the course. So to start with, we're going to look at three main questions in this video. The first one is, why should we care about topology? The next question is, what is topology? And finally, we'll look at what can we expect from this course. So let's look at the first question. Why should we care about topology? Well, the reason is topology has tons and tons of applications to data science, among many other pure math reasons as well. But focusing on the topological information rather than geometric information can let us reduce down excess information and focus on just the essential features of data sets. So let's look at three big examples. The first one we're going to look at is shape recognition. So we're actually going to do a project on this later on in the semester. But we can use topology to classify shapes and to quantify the difference between different shapes. The next example we're going to look at is computer vision. So this includes things like clustering, looking at how the data in data sets is clustered, and also the shape of data sets. So in one example, Carlson et al. Showed that actually the shape of handwriting data, which you can see here, actually turns out to be a Klein bottle. And then the last example we're going to look at is neuroscience. So this is going to be the main focus of this course. And topology turns out to be a really powerful tool for studying the brain. The reason for this is that topology deals more with how things are connected together rather than looking at where in space they are. And that actually turns out to be just the right tool for studying the brain, where it's the connections between different parts of the brain that matters more than the actual locations within the brain. Okay, so let's look at classical geometry first. So classical geometry, it really just boils down to certain fundamental concepts, such as distances and angles and stuff like that. So examples of this include Euclidean geometry, but there's also different types of geometry as well. There's Riemannian geometry, hyperbolic geometry, and many more. Now, topology provides sort of a common framework for all of these different types of geometry, where they can all sort of be viewed as topological spaces. But with topology, we have much less to work with. We don't necessarily have distances or angles or anything like that. So with topology, we're going to be sort of stripping down our problems just to their essential features. So oftentimes geometry will contain too much information. And a lot of times this information is not stuff we want, and it's not useful. So stripping down everything into just the topology can help reduce this unwanted information and focus on just the essential features. So some of the main essential features we'll be looking at in this class are things like connectivity and holes. Okay, so to summarize, topology is a way of studying shapes that is much looser than regular geometry. So it doesn't carry all that extra information at distances and stuff like that, and instead focuses just on the sort of essential qualitative features of a shape. We can use this to characterize shapes and identify features within shapes. And topology comes with a whole host of powerful tools that we can apply to data science, including things such as homology. And topology has been used in many, many fields, including graphics, visualization, medical imaging, and so on. And persistent homology can even be fed into machine learning pipelines as well. Now, there's one downside to topology, which is that it is somewhat of an abstract language. So we'll look at this in next week's lecture, but it's not too bad if you're prepared. Okay, so now let's look at the last question. What can we expect from this course? Well, we're going to introduce basic concepts and basic language in computational topology and look at some recent developments. We have really three main goals. The first goal is to understand the language in topology and computational topology. We also want to study applications of computational topology to neuroscience. And finally, we want to look at applying topological methods to a shape recognition problem. So these are some recommended references. You can also find these on our course webpage.